Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Deutschland map gameplay in Farming Simulator Double Deuce. I haven't said that for a while, but tonight is all about Farming Simulator 25. Because that is now a thing for realsies. It has now been officially announced. Farming Simulator 25 is coming when? Well, don't you know it? Long-time viewers of the channel are completely aware of this thing called the countdown timer, and it's been reset. Farming Simulator 25 releases in 139 days and 4 hours, people. During every live stream between now and release, we will have the Farming Simulator 25 countdown timer up just so everyone knows when it's going to happen. That countdown timer is key to November 12th at midnight CEST. Actually, I need to tweak that a little bit. Oops. That's actually... Oops, hold on. I set this timer up in a rush. I honestly have to fix it. Okay, it's fixed. It's releasing in 139 days. $139 days, people. It's now been rekeyed to 8 p.m. Actually, that's even wrong. I gotta fix it again. I'll fix it later. There's so much on my brain. I can't convert time zones. I haven't trusted anything I saw on TV for years, but let me tell you a funny story about my kid. He's 10 years old, okay? We're at Dairy Queen. We went to Dairy Queen the other day because he told me he's never had a blizzard. And I said to myself, how can you have never had a blizzard? What kind of terrible parent am I that you've never had a blizzard? Well, thankfully I talked to his mom, and his mom said, no, he's had blizzard before. He just doesn't remember. Oh, big pressure off my back because now I'm not a bad dad. Okay, any rate. So I took him to get a blizzard, and I'm like, what flavor do you want? Like, do you want this flavor, this flavor, this flavor? He's like, no, they all sound super sweet. I don't want something super sweet. Okay, so he got an Oreo blizzard, and he thought flipping it upside down and it not falling out was the most craziest thing he's ever seen in his life. So much that he had to do it himself. Like he thought it was some black magic. But if he did it, it would fall out. But if they did it, it worked. And he said, by the way, he said, the people who live in this town are the luckiest people on the planet because they get to go to Dairy Queen whenever they want. Okay, any rate. We're eating Dairy Queen, massively overpriced burgers. Oh my god, we had 2 combos, and the bill was $25. And I'm like, wait, what? What? How are 2 combos at a fast food joint $25? The menu says $7.99. She's like, that's just for the burger. What? Wait, what? Okay, all right, fine. So $37 later because 2 blizzards were $6 each. Okay, so that was rather expensive fuel. Any rate, he's watching the news on TV. He's like, why is the news muted? I want to watch the news. I want to hear what they have to say. Mind you, we don't watch the news, so I don't even know why he thinks this. Then he said, at least it's not Fox News. I was like, oh my. Okay, I got to hear this. Why is it not Fox News? He's 10 years old, and he's got, already impression on why he doesn't want to watch Fox News. All right, anyway, on that, we're going to divert from my fun little kid story about if you live in a town with a Dairy Queen, you are literally the luckiest people in the world. And we're going to talk about Farming Simulator 25 coming out November 12th at midnight CET. At least that's when typically Giants releases the game on PC on their eShop. Now, a few of the most recent DLC releases have maybe somewhat brought that into question a little bit because of the fact that, well, honestly, a few times they've released rather late. Okay, now the clock is fixed. Now the clock is literally fixed to midnight CET. Barring the time zone change. Alright, it's close now. It's within an hour of when it's been released. I know, Jonathan. It's like, are you kidding me? We're not going to go back to Dairy Queen anytime soon for food. We might go there for a blizzard, just like on a super special occasion, but holy Jesus. I can get takeout Chinese for the whole family for like 35 bucks. And that's like 4 meals. And I have leftovers. No, it's set November 12th. Technically, it's set November 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. because I'm 6 hours behind Giants. Any rate, Sherry says, no GPS, no precision farming. Not even surprised about GPS, but precision farming, well, okay. It's just the tip of the iceberg as far as announcements. Just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot of things that Giants has not announced yet. Don't think that these are the only things coming. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. We know GPS was on their roadmap back when FS22 released. I don't know if precision farming is going to be built in because they've got that deal with John Deere. And they may just see it as an add-on and not something that they're going to set up and to be a toggleable, a turn-on and offable option. So, but I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out yet. The physical copy has a hole in the middle, Simper. Some might say that's stimulating, but I won't go too far into that because it's still kind of early in the evening. So you could put your finger in the hole and spin the disc around your finger and hope it doesn't cut you. The physical copy will probably have some screen printing on the disc that may or may not look attractive. The physical copy will include a code to activate and also download a digital copy. So yeah, I mean, we had precision farming in 19. Did it get introduced in 19 or did it get introduced in 17? I honestly have forgotten. But I feel like it was introduced for a certain number of game releases. Like it was a contractual thing. So we got it in 19 only? Okay. Exactly, Walter. Exactly. We're going to get a lot more information in 11 days. That's when FarmCon is. Now, they are not streaming FarmCon for a few reasons. One, the Fent forum, I believe that's what they call it, doesn't have the best internet. So streaming out of there is likely not going to turn out to be the best situation. But there will be information coming in the form of blog posts, in the form of, I'm sure, video uploads to YouTube after the fact. And I will be sure to bring you as much information as I can get. I do have a lead on someone who's planning on going to FarmCon. So hopefully I can basically get a roving reporter's point of view to provide. Possibly some inside screenshots, images grabbed of presentations. Hello, Jim. What's up? Modders really probably, they get about as much information as you get. They'll get some information from FarmCon. But it's not like they're going to basically get a day one modding guide on how to mod for FS25. To be honest, a lot of it is getting the game, booting up the new editor, which often doesn't come until a few days after the game, and then basically bringing in vehicles, bringing in buildings, bringing in maps, and basically starting to tweak and learn and understand what's new. The Collector's Edition will be released in the United States. In fact, right now there is a link down in the description to a listing on Amazon US for the Collector's Edition. But right now it has nothing. Like, no screenshots, no information. It says currently unavailable, so you can't pre-order it. So what I say would be to bookmark that and come back to it every week or so. And at some point it will be listed and available for purchase. Gold Gaming, you are incredibly accurate. It was very difficult Friday night during our Friday night Wreckfest to, well, not say much. American Truck Simulator, it was pretty difficult to not say much. So my best advice is when people talk about things that you can't talk about, to just pretend they're not talking, right? And it's the very reason I didn't stream last night. I don't know if my affiliate link will work on Amazon Canada. I mean, you could click to it and it would go to the US site, and then maybe in that same browser window you could change to the Canada site, and maybe the cookie would carry over. I don't know. So David, I'm not really sure where the leak came from. Or David, I'm not really sure where the leak came from. I just heard early Friday that there was some information out there, and we as partners were requested to not talk about it. So the only thing I could do was basically discount it as being unconfirmed information, right? And we would get information as much as we could, basically where it came from or where the information was posted. And Giants was busy all weekend issuing takedown notices to get that information down. simply because it wasn't published yet, right? They wanted to have their announcement. They wanted to have their day on the 25th, and they got to have their day on the 25th. And honestly, I want to thank everybody in the Discord. I know you knew the leaked information, and I thank you for respecting Giants and respecting me enough to not be plastering it all over the place and everything. So thank you all for that. And the people, sadly, on the interwebs that were just constantly re-uploading the same information after the takedown notices, I've got some pretty strong opinions on them, and it says they have zero respect for Giants. They have zero respect for the Farm Sim franchise, and as a result, quite honestly, they have zero respect for you all as players, because all they were really concerned about was getting the clicks and getting a few views. And it's really depressing, really sad, really disappointing. And to that end, let's talk about things. Let's talk about things, people. While we have a helper running, let's pull this up. Oh yeah, Missouri is a confirmed brand. Missouri Pro-Till 4 is something that was in a screenshot. Let me see if I can't find that screenshot super duper quick. Here she is. This was a screenshot provided to us and released today. And you see in the back, the Missouri Pro-Till 4 TX is being pulled behind a Fendt Vario. This is a confirmed new brand, confirmed new piece of machinery. So this is a British company. We can learn all about that. And we'll be speculating, of course, on what other things might be coming from Missouri. Missouri, however you say it. Rotary blade mowers. We don't have enough mowers in this game. Why not? We're probably going to get 7 or 8 mowers. Right-handed harrow for all you wrong-handed people. And then we have, we don't have a left-handed harrow. What's up with that? What's a rehab? Look, this just looks like Farm Sim right here. Maybe this is a screenshot. We're also getting a MacDon pack. Not McDonald's, MacDon pack. The M1 series windrower is coming to Farming Simulator 25. This thing is big. But this thing's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps up. This is like a 5 foot tall, 6 foot tall tire. These things are huge. I got to see one at the National Farm and Machinery Show back in 2023. I was wrong in my video. It was 2023. This thing is huge. And it's coming to the base game. We're going to get 2 headers. We've seen the mower header, and we also saw in the MacDon pack this header, and this is what appears to be swathing, as Schultz pointed out in the Discord earlier today. So it looks like we're getting swathing as a base game feature. So this looks very different than a normal straw windrow that we are expecting to see. We get to see some buildings from the American map here. A nice old barn. What looks to be a cow barn here. Then this is a screenshot that was released showing the header, the mower header. This is also a screenshot that was released. Got some buildings back here. Another shot of the barn. Right? So that is coming. And this says we get the 1240 windrower, the DX140 and FD140 headers, the PW8 pickup header, and the R216SP disc header by the Canadian manufacturer MacDon. So these are the 5 pieces of machinery you get. Windrower, 1, 2, 3 headers, and a disc header. Let's go over here. See if we can't find these. I want screenshots. Pickup header. Windrower headers. Alright, well, y'all can look for this information later. How about motorcycles, people? The bikes are coming as best as I feel. And I think this is the brand that was shown off, or this was the model shown off in the trailer. Did you miss that part of the trailer? Well, it's right here. There you go, right there. So that is exciting. Ways we can get around the farm, ways we can get around the map. And of course, you know, there's gonna have to be some motorcycle multiplayer racing. No doubt. There's been a question about minimum requirements, maximum requirements, recommended requirements. This is over at Steam. Steam, minimum requirements, i5 6400 or Ryzen 5 1400 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, GTX 1050 Ti or Radeon RX 470 GPU. Minimum 3 gigs VRAM, DX12 support, 45 gigs of disk space. That's up 10 gigabits, 10 gigabytes from FS22. Dang it, you need a sound card. Sadly, VR support is listed as not activable, not available. That was something I kind of hoped we would see, would be some level of VR support. Recommended bundles. So compare your system to recommended. An i7 1070 or a Ryzen 5 1500X. I really don't think these are comparable CPUs personally, but okay, we'll go with it. 12 gigs of RAM, an RTX 2070, Radeon 5700 XT, or an Intel Arc A750 as recommended. So compare your systems to either the minimum or the recommended. There was a question in my comments section on the video. Mac? Yeah, we don't know. Who plays games on Mac anyway? So there was a question with respect to Farming Simulator and working on a Steam Deck. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure it'll run fine. I'm sure it'll run fine. Let's talk about some of the wording used in the game. PS5, Xbox X or S. So we've officially dropped PlayStation 4 and Xbox One support. So that bodes possibly well for the potential of bigger maps coming to console, because we're no longer so restricted by the 8-year-old platforms. It's hard to believe that PlayStation 5 and Xbox, when this game comes out, will be 4 years old already. We have 3 maps: North American, European, and now Eastern Asia. This is from the CGI trailer. This is not a game render, but oh my god, imagine if this was a game render. Right? But just remember, this is CG, this is not game render. Okay? Not actual in-game footage. We have 2 different types of rice: spinach and other new crops. So there's more crops coming to Farming Simulator 25 than we already have announced. Well over 20. We have 20 now. We have 20 now with Farming Simulator 22. So let's pull that up. Let's wait for the game to save. So we have wheat, barley, canola, oat, corn, sunflower, soybean, potatoes, sugar beet, sugarcane, cotton, sorghum, grapes, olives, poplar, grass, oilseed radish, red beet, carrots, and parsnips. That's 20. So we have 20 now. And the blog post says well over 20. So 23 is not well over 20. So other new crops are coming. Will we find out about them at FarmCon, or will we have to wait a little bit longer? Buffaloes, water buffaloes, are coming to Farming Simulator 25, as well as all the animals that we currently have: cows, sheep, pigs, chicken, horses. Jabo, what is up, sir? I'd love to hear what you all what you think of this announcement. And other livestock. So we have and new crops, and other livestock. Well, what other livestock is there? We have cows, we have sheep, we have pigs, we have chickens, we have horses. That's what we have now. We're getting buffaloes. That's another one. And other new. So we got other livestock coming to the game for sure. New production chains and construction missions. So things like our roller coasters, I would call a construction mission. Hopefully if they're going to be built into the game, then modders will be able to get access to that type of information, figure out how they work, and implement them in their own maps. 400 authentic machines, 150 international top brands: Case IH, Kloss, Fendt, John Deere, Kubota, Massey Ferguson, New Holland, Valtra. Yeah. We've already talked about Missouri being a new brand. MacDon is a new brand. The motorcycle is a new brand. We got a couple other new brands coming. There is, let me see, let me pull up this video again. Summers is a brand. Yes. So SUMMERS right there. I zoomed in on that when I did my announcement video. Summers Cultivators, Summers Tillage might as well be confirmed, because why would you stick a brand name on a CGI implement if it wasn't coming? Right? Floodable fields. How are we going to flood our fields? We're going to have some mechanic of basically getting water out to our fields. For sure, right? There's our motorcycle. We basically have ground drying, right? So we go from wet ground to dry ground. And J&M. Do we have J&M now? I don't know. J&M's definitely coming if we don't have it already now in the base game. Definitely coming. Well, yeah. We got another yellow deer. I think that's another yellow deer there. We've seen that before. I want this logo is what I want. I want this 3D logo. Someone needs to make that happen. We got rice. All right, seriously. I'm going to play this because I think the voices right here are absolutely freaking hilarious, and I can't stop laughing about them. It's pretty darn good. Oh my god, that's just hilarious. Sorry. It's just who talks that way and who sounds like that. Sounds like he's had about 7 packs of cigarettes per day. Any rate. Spinach is confirmed, right? We talked about that already. Oh boy. New Giants engine. Giants grows up, gets to 10 digits. That's when all the fun things happen. Improved graphics and physics. So maybe Bale stacking will be better. Maybe people that play the Bale stacking challenge will be able to do it better now if Bale physics is better. Hopefully. Distance fog. We see that here. We're going to take a closer look at that. Enhanced shadows. Dynamic weather effects. I hope we get lightning. I would love to have a sky like American Truck Simulator. Ground deformation. Don't read too far into these things. Ground deformation is not digging up the dirt like we have with the terraforming. Ground deformation is likely a subset of what you hope it is. Just saying, trying to set up realistic expectations here. We have reflections on this machinery. We're going to zoom closer in on this stuff, but you can see reflections of the crop in this header. I can't wait to find out more. Cannot wait to find out more. So if you go to their DVD, their website now, and you try to order a physical copy, they're not available yet. Give it a few days for the retailers to get caught up, and then this page will likely start to show information, right? So for now, just give it a few days. They're not going to sell out of this stuff. It's going to be all fine and dandy. So look at these reflections. Right, we got reflections of like the exhaust, the lights here. We've got some reflections going on. But, you know, you could be like, well, they could be baked in, right? Some of these reflections might be baked in. Okay, look here. We've got our grain. And then we have what really looks like on the side of this header, very, very shiny, nicely waxed header, what appears to be reflections of the grain. Really looking forward to possibly having reflections. Look at this back here. God rays, sun rays coming through the dust. That really has got me kicked up. These trees look great. I think this crop looks fabulous too. Oh, this is my favorite screenshot. Right, we got this old shed sitting back here. We've got this river. We got the rocks along the banks. We got this fog that's just kind of laid in here on the ground right next to the river. We've got this bridge off in the distance. Will we see like fog that will cook off during the morning hours? Right, in the early morning hours. Like we had Silver Run Forest where we had like little low clouds. And then as the day went on, the kind of the low clouds kind of cooked off. Will we see this fog like cook off halfway through the morning time? Enhanced shadows, enhanced reflections in the water. So here we go. Look, here's a reflection of the mirror and the cab here in this hood. As an example. Here we have are these shadows of the hoses. They look awful much like they are. Victory Jones, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. So, right, shadows being cast from these hoses onto our mower deck. Could be. Right, so there's our MacDon. Year 1 season pass. Right, we know we got year 1 season pass coming. First quarter 25. I'm thinking May or not May. February 25th or March 25th. Both of those are Tuesdays, by the way. Innovative machinery. I have no clue. I'm not even going to try to speculate on this stuff. Because in the past, they've been so liberal, so crazy with their hints as to what that possibly could be. I'm not even going to attempt anymore to try to guess what that might mean. Performance on the plains and prairies. So you people that live out in the plains and prairies, tell me how you increase your performance. I'm thinking it's big machines. That's what I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking is big machinery. Big bud pack from FS17. Stars aligned. What do we got? We got a wheel, and we got an incline, and we got some rocks or dirt. We're going rock climbing. I have no idea. But the stars are not aligning for me to go to FarmCon. That's all I know. Hello. Does this not look like the UK? Huh? Does this not look like the UK? Oh, you know what? That could be... Oops. That could be stars aligning, be GPS. I don't know. But yeah, that could be something. UK map, Irish map, not Italian map, Irish, UK map. I want this so bad. I want it now. I want my farming simulator keychain. I want my keys. I want to stick them in this thing. I want to turn it, and I want to start my machines. That's what I want. Collector's edition. You're going to get a USB ignition lock. FS22. We got the USB beacon. I want this. I know Raz is razzy about the 16-bit edition farming simulator. I told Giants it would be cool if we could get collector's game cartridges, like a console cartridge for the 16-bit, just as, you know, whatever, plastic game cartridge. You get a physical copy of the game, which is also includes a DVD, digital download. The MacDon pack comes with every and all pre-orders, modding tutorials, stickers. Homer is coming. Crone is coming. Amazon is making a return. Manitou is making a return. We already know about Fendt, John Deere, and Case from the images we've already seen. The New Holland is CR11 and the AF11, because that Case harvester we saw earlier was the AF11 Gold Edition. Who wants to see what the Gold Edition looks like? I got images. I might have him in this folder. We know we have seasonal cycles making a return, because look here. Look here. What are all these? I don't know. We got too low a resolution to really know what's included here. But we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 crops. Possibly. This is a long one, whatever the heck this thing is. That's a lot of words. 25 crops. So that's the collector's edition. Alright, so it's not in that folder. Hold on. Here we go. How about some images that weren't shared with me earlier? Let's take a look at these. These are images that apparently were only given to select few partners. I wasn't deemed worthy, but I still have them. Any rate, this is a screenshot of something. I'm thinking the American map just by the shape of this barn. So we got a water, we got some standing water here. We got some cattails. That's what I call them. That's what we call them around here. Tree. Again, we got this lighting. We got the God rays. We got the sun rays coming through the trees. We don't know what season this is. Looking at the trees. See if the trees really tell us anything. Ah, here we have another one. So we've got a grain complex over here. Got more. We got a fallen tree over here. Like a walking path. Got an old gate. This looks like possibly fall, maybe? Based on these tree colors. We were speculating a little bit in the Discord, right? We've got some not green shrubbery. Artemis, no, we have 138 days left. Oh, the first thing I thought when I saw this was is this a Ukrainian map? Was this a Russian map? Because I mean, this is just falling apart. So we got railroad tracks here. We got something going on. Who knows which? Is this a European? I don't know. I don't know. We have. Oops. Are those yellow? Or are those white? They look kind of yellow. Maybe it's the American map. I don't know. This doesn't look so much like a. This looks a little cartoony here. So wait, what? 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 Where are these? What are those? Oh, looky here. Route 66. Could this be? Could this be on Route 66? The American map? I don't know, but we have Central Cafe. Classic American food. We have those, so that other one might be an American map. We got a barge going up and down the river. Grain complex. Could this be the top of the grain complex we saw from the other screenshot? Looks like we're gonna be like, wait, we got a pontoon, right? We put a fishing boat under here or something. Really nice reflections coming off the water. All right, so then we have this screenshot, which is the MacDon, right? The swathing going on here. Oh, here's the gold edition. So you can find this screenshot over at Epic Games. The gold edition of the CR11 that you get with the collector's edition. There's another screenshot. We've got our dust coming out here. Kind of the sun rays through the dust. We have our particle effects back from FS22. Nice dust mask here on the output. Got a nice dirt mask on the header. There's a nice side shot. MacDon, a grain header. All right, so that's that list. We've already run through that. And that's all the fun stuff there. You know what else I forgot? This video is brought to you by Bucket McPretty. Thank you for being Farm Baron. I think I've run through everything I had prepared to run through. What did I miss? Hey, Sean, what's up? All right, Scooter says Zilanka will be the Central European map. So we're down to maybe 2 new maps. 2 new maps. Oh, that might be interesting to repair the grain mill, and then you can use it. Or then you can, yeah, maybe you can use it to make flour after you fix it. Sean, I completely understand the concept of being burned down on farm sim. And like I mentioned like a week ago, this announcement could not come soon enough for me because I was really lacking in interest in wanting to play farm sim. And if I wasn't producing farm sim content like the map tours, I probably would have been in the same boat. I probably would have been looking for something else to do for the last little bit. So if it's 25 new crops, we already have 20. 2 rice and a spinach, that's 23. So there's 2 crops yet to be announced, if 25 is indeed the list. Be kind. I would say if the developer pulled them, then I have no idea. I mean, the only thing I would say is if you knew someone that purchased it and they were willing to get it to you. Walter, I don't think they have much interest in going back to every other year anymore. I feel that that was something that was put in place by Focus Home Interactive, and by moving away from Focus Home Interactive, they were going to obviously go to a much longer dev cycle, one that they're choosing. Right? It's been 3 years between FS19 and 22. It's been 3 years between FS22 and 25. That doesn't mean that they're in a 3-year dev cycle. It just means the last 2 times they've taken 3 years. We might not have another one until FS29, FS30. Who knows? But I can tell you, it's difficult to keep the interest to put out content daily or near daily for 3 years straight. It's just hard. It's just hard. FarmCon will show off gameplay. FarmCon will show off the American map. That's very, very similar to what was in FS22. They didn't really show off much of the European map until much, much later in the dev cycle. So it is available on the Epic Game Store. It is available on Steam. It's available from the Giants eShop. If you do want to get it from the eShop, I would love for you to use my code. We do get a little bit of a kickback on that. There is a code link for picking up physical copies from various retailers like Target, Best Buy, GameStop. I assume that means that Target, Best Buy, and GameStop have some way of reporting back to Giants the tracking cookie that is basically sent or set that tells them that you originated from the Giants site using my link. That's the only way I know that I would get credit if you bought something at GameStop, because when you click that link and go to GameStop, you've left the Giants site. They have no other way of knowing that you've purchased it than if there is some sort of tracking code that they feed back to Giants. Yeah, I think if DLCs included more game changing features, up to this point the expansions, the once-a-year expansions, have basically included those gameplay changes. And forestry was very, very focused. Forestry, right? So if you don't really interest in forestry, then the Platinum expansion really wasn't much to draw people in. the gameplay for the premium expansion was those root crops. Again, very, very focused on what people may or may not be interested in. So that's why I think the stars aligning being GPS is maybe a bit of a stretch, because they usually don't introduce like game features just in a smaller DLC pack. I think the last time maybe they did that was the I'm blanking on the brand. Hold a minute. The last time they did that, I feel, was the Coon DLC in FS17 when they released this wrapper that wrapped square bales. Right? That was a major change. I mean, you could maybe say the Kuverland one where they introduced the speed wrapper. Grump, Mr. Grumpy. I would say yes. Be cautiously optimistic as to what ground deformation truly means. It's going to be something, but it's probably not what we all want it to be or hope it to be. So I go back to Seasons mod in FS17 and 19, and what became seasonal cycles in FS22. To the super excited folks, they read seasonal cycles. That meant seasons in FS22, and they just imagined all the seasons features, and I may have done this as well. They imagined all the seasons features being available in FS22. And then when we get seasonal cycles and we realize it's a mere subset of the feature set, then we got rather disappointed, frustrated. To some degree, some people got angry about Giants not including every feature of seasons. And it's like, well, they never said it was seasons. They said it was seasonal cycles, right? And others be like, well, what's the difference? There's a lot in a name. And I think they chose those names for a reason. And I think it's going to take FarmCon or a dev blog to fully explain what does ground deformation truly mean. bridges between the fields, the sunken rice fields. I don't think it deals with digging. I don't think it deals with smoothing things out per se, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get a lot more information in 11 days at FarmCon. What will be revealed at FarmCon is still kind of open for debate, maybe. We have 5 months, sorry, between now and release. There's enough information released now that makes me happy. That makes me excited to see what else is going to be announced. I'm excited to be on the road to learning about Farming Simulator 25 more. I'm not super discouraged about what has not been said, because there were things in FS22 that never were announced, and it was like Christmas in July when it came to, are these all cornfields? Oh my gosh, are these all cornfields? No, what's this? What's this way down here? Sunflower. Yes, these are all. All right, we'll go to the shop. So, there's a lot of cool things that were not announced in FS22, like I said, that were in FS22. And some of them, I think, were killer features. And it took us getting access to FS22, playing with FS22, and then making the realization that things were in FS22 that weren't announced. And it was like Christmas. I remember when I discovered that this overlay was dynamic, and that when we created fields, right, these overlays, this field overlay, yeah, we could carve this up and this road would go away and it would be a field, right? And when I realized that, I think I was on stream and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. Crossplay was I don't think voice chat was announced. Maybe it was. It's 3 years ago. It's hard to say. 4 years ago. It made sense. It made sense because how else are console players and PC players going to play together unless they have a way to talk, right? So, no more speculation. We know Farm Sim 25 is coming. We know what day it's coming. It's coming sooner than I thought it would. I thought it would be coming late in November, but it's coming very early in November, respectively. I'm going to be picking up the Collector's Edition because I want the USB key thing. I'm going to be picking up my own copy of the digital Year 1 Season Pass. And we're going to be giving away some Farm Sim as we get closer to the release date. And I fully understand anyone that is cautious and is hesitant to pre-order. By all means, wait until you are satisfied with the information released. And if you're never satisfied with the information released, that's fine. There's people still playing FS19. Oh, this thing is too low. Alright, what headers? What headers? Is this gonna work on? Ooh. No, that header's not gonna work on this. It's too low. There's some people that, yeah, some people won't move until they feel there's the mods that they need in order to play. That's fine. That's fine. Farm Sim 25 will be here when you're ready for it. Oh, the shop is closed. Dang it. Here we go. Maybe this will work better. I mean, Sean, I believe very much in the same thing. I believe it's very useful to understand the game mechanics of the base game thoroughly before mods come out. That way you understand how the game is changed as a result of the mods that you have activated and are using. So often I'll see people talk about the game sucks because this is happening, and it's like, what they're upset about is mod behavior, and they're attributing it to the game basically being broken or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not how the game works. That's how some mod you've activated is causing the game to work. You need to refocus your frustration. But understand why will never come is the balancing of mods to fit within the base game economy. Well, that would require either one, modders to deliberately abide by base game economy, or for Giants to basically put some expectations down on what mods can do with respect to changing prices, right? I mean, there will always be this race. What's the cheapest way to do something? What's the cheapest way of making fertilizer? What's the cheapest way of seeding? I'll see videos that'll talk about the cheapest way to make fertilizer for console. Well, okay, but tomorrow a new mod can come out that just makes the price per liter of fertilizer half of whatever it is now. And now we have a new cheaper way of making fertilizer than the old cheaper way of making fertilizer. Right? It's the race to the cheapest, to the fastest way to mow grass in farming simulator. Fastest way to harvest. Fastest way to do this. I want a wonton factory. Those things are good. What other crops do we think might be coming? What other Asian crops, Asian-inspired crops could be there? Like those mini corns. What are those mini corn ears? The egg drop soup factory. Oh, Turkey, you just need to know all the dev commands. Right? It's just figuring out what all the dev commands are. Oh, bamboo would be an interesting forestry crop on top of popular. That's a good possibility. I wouldn't mind seeing orchards. So I think that's where spinach comes from. The addition of spinach as a crop. Oh, wasabi's a root crop. I wouldn't put it past them. We don't have enough root crops in game. Tea? That would be interesting. No, we have Durham wheat on that new map. What was that new map that had Durham wheat? The one with the broken flour mill? Oh my gosh, jackfruit. Looks like barbecue meat beef, but is not. That is like the most deceiving thing ever. So if we had rubber trees, then we'd have to have, then we could easily port that over to maple trees. And then we could force every Canadian map to have maples, maple trees, and maple syrup. Well, Donald, I mean, if we have floodable fields, then we're close to cranberries. My understanding is cranberries are flooded for harvest. I don't know if they're flooded for growing too. Walter, I'm not a fan of doing things fast either. I enjoy typically playing Farm Sim, and typically I don't like to do things I enjoy as fast as possible, because that implies I'm done faster, and if I'm enjoying it, then I kind of want to drag it out. I saw it said the hotspot was moved to the right location for the flour mill. I only assumed that it also was fixed. Whatever was broken about it. But that voice loading in was pretty weird. I mean, it was pretty clear that it was a result of the treasure hunt. Because once you complete the treasure hunt, where basically you find a game cartridge that's worth $1 million, then unlocking the code right for the game makes sense. It is a little weird. I haven't. Fuck it. I haven't. I wish they pulled the voice before version 1 release, personally, because it was a little... I was like, what? When I first loaded the map up the first time, I'm like, what the heck was that? I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't really hear it. I just heard something weird. So we have year 1 season pass. We have something releasing every quarter. With a new map at the end, it looks like Scotland, Ireland, UK-ish, which is interesting. It's an area that Giants has never really delved into. Obviously, it's an area that's had plenty of mod maps. If Sri Lanka is going to be the Central European map, then we will have potentially 5 maps worth of Giants assets early on in FS25's lifespan, because we'll have the new American map assets, we'll have Sri Lanka's assets, we'll have the East Asian maps assets for modders and mappers. We'll hopefully have Giants release Silver Run Forest as a mod map. Hopefully we will be able to, typically you can import the previous game's mod maps into the editor. So we'll have Elm Creek, Holt Bellaroon, and Erlingrot also as potential mod maps early on for people to pull those assets out of and make use as placeables, make use as factories, possibly make use as construction missions and as map assets. I've said in the past to people who have made comments that Giants shouldn't make maps, they should just make the game engine and then let people make the maps. It's like most maps are using Giants delivered assets for their mod maps. So if Giants didn't deliver these map assets, you wouldn't have 90% of the mod maps you have. Not everyone has Blender capabilities, not everyone can make buildings and texture the buildings. It is definitely nice and refreshing, like this map, to have nearly 100% custom buildings, because seeing the same buildings year after year gets pretty old. Oh, look, here's yet another grain mill. Here's the stock sugar factory, right? Here's the bakery that looks like a little diner. But not everybody has those capabilities to make these custom structures. So having the wider variety of delivered assets from Giants helps with that variety. So we'll see. We'll see, but I'm very excited. Very excited. I did not have the super over-the-top reactions. I did not save myself like Sir Raz to watch the video while at camera and on a mic so I could vocalize my thoughts. But I would say that I'm typically far more reserved than others are. And I feel like when I was reading the blog post for the first time, when I was looking at the screenshots for the first time, and when I watched the trailer for the first time, I felt like my jaw was wide open and I had to pick my jaw up off the roof. And basically, all I could think of after I watched some of that stuff and looked at some of that stuff was basically, oh my god. Oh, totally, Burgess. I was at work. I totally left my clothes on. We know what happens when Raz gets excited. He strips. My eyes didn't recover for 17 minutes after that scene. I was like, what did I just see? Why did I just see that? How is this possible? How is that box big enough to cover all his hog? Hide his children, right? I got the pleasure of meeting his fabulous children and his fabulous wife Flossie the other week as they were coming back from Hershey, Pennsylvania on their summer vacation. I hope they enjoyed having lunch at the Barrel of Crackers. All I wanted was an omelet and they didn't have it. Flossie wanted stuff that they couldn't offer, so she ordered like 17 sides. It was great. Roosty Sion, welcome to the channel. I was thinking the other day, what regions has Giants not dived into yet? So if we're going to get a UK map ish in the expansion, Right, we've obviously had North America, we've had Central Europe, we're going to get Asia, we have Western North America with Silver Run Forest, we have, I would say, East Europe and West Europe with Sri Lanka, Holt Belarun was French. We haven't had an Australian Giants map. We haven't had a South American Giant. Yes, we have. We had a South American Giants map. That's when they introduced sugarcane. We haven't had a African map. I mean, is there much? Would Iceland be a standard size map, or would it be a smaller than standard size? Yeah, Estancia Lapacho was a South American map released as an expansion for Farming Simulator 17. Came back as a mod map for 19. It introduced sugarcane. It introduced the idea of having shrubbery that you could remove by cultivating the ground. That was a new concept up to that point. I mean, it's red dirt, right? So I guess South America and Central America. Maybe it doesn't feel South American because they didn't have a lime factory. A lime mine. Every Brazilian map we've seen, mod maps, have lime mines. So it probably wouldn't be a 4X map. Iceland. We'd have to have a volcano on it. Well, see, I lump Canada into North America. Technically, Mexico would be North America, too. So yes, Farming Simulator is going even more global now with the introduction of an East Asian map. So, I so called that way back in 2022. I was just 2 years early. But I so called it. We were talking about what map is going to be the expansion map for the Year 1 Season Pass. And I said, you know what, folks? We have one. We have a single Izeki tractor. We have a single tractor from Japan in the Izeki base game. When thinking about what the premium platinum expansion might be, I think to myself, what does the game not have a lot of? Izeki tractors. And they were saying that Asia was an entry market, a new market they were moving into when they were self-publishing in Farm Sim 22. What better thing to do than to have an Asian map, not East Asian, just have an Asian map for your Year 1 expansion, introduce more Izeki equipment, and really drive home those Asian sales. That's the business person in me. That was the business person in me thinking. Apparently, nope, not going to happen. I'm willing to bet the forestry deal was probably already, the ink was already dry. before Farm Sim 22 released. I wouldn't be surprised if the what's the brand of the Wolf. It wouldn't surprise me if the Wolf contract was already dried ink before Farming Simulator 22 released. So I was ahead of the times, or you could say I was behind the times, because the deals probably for the 2 expansions were already inked, already signed. The first option for an Asian map is Farm Sim 25. And it's here. It's coming. Kubota was an expansion DLC, right? So it wasn't base game included. Yes, Kubota came as an expansion year 1. So that further highlights the Asian market. So we saw a Zeki branded rice planter in the CGI trailer. Again, if the CGI trailer is going to show something and it's going to be branded in the trailer, it's pretty confident we're going to get it in game. Why would they go to the effort of rendering brand badging in a trailer unless it was coming to the game? Because they would have had to have struck a licensing deal with that brand even to have that in the trailer. But no doubt there will be plenty of custom harvesting equipment specific for these new crops. Spinach harvesting, rice harvesting, both dry and wet. I don't know anything about rice harvesting, but you know what? We're going to learn. We're going to learn about rice harvesting. I would love to see, we've talked about this before, I'd love to see a hat for every brand in the game. At least in the US, every brand has clothing. Every brand has hats. Hats galore. I don't care who you are, you better have a hat. And if you can't hand out a hat, then you're not in farming. There's more bald farmers because they wear hats than ever anything else. It wouldn't surprise me. Although I watched last week tonight, John Oliver. He did a bit on corn, and I was like, "Oh my, what's this going to be like?" He did a bit on corn, and it was really interesting. Learning about corn agriculture in the United States. 40% of our corn goes to animal feed. 46 or so % of our corn goes to ethanol production, and then the balance, whatever's left, is for human consumption. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. Interesting to learn about rice harvesting. Schultz put a video in the Discord related to spinach harvesting, I think. Well, I'd hope if I go and drop $200,000 on a tractor, I should get a whole case of free hats. I should get a lifetime supply of hats. Oh, so spinach is like a plant once forever harvest, or plants once multiple harvests per year. Let's get something faster. I guess that's true. Like in the garden, you would go and cut your spinach off, and then it would just grow back. That's what we do growing up. Go out with a knife and just cut off a bunch, and it would eventually grow back. But does it die off in the winter? So that would be an interesting harvest. Plant spinach and then harvest it in, like, let's say May, harvested it again in July, and maybe it again in September, and then you're done. If you're not a member of the Discord, please join. Explanation Discord. We have really great discussions in there. Very respectful individuals. I think there will be. I think there'll be. I don't think it would be a greenhouse crop. Can I dump this in there? Look, I can. The bot is broken. Hold on. Alright, try now. I would love to see compaction come back in a farming simulator. In fact, there was a Discord I was looking at earlier that I'm a member in, and they were speculating that the stars aligning, the graphic of the tire and what looked like the incline and dirt, maybe they were hoping maybe that was compaction. I don't know how that star is lining up. But we all have our wishes and hopes and dreams. But again, I would caution you very, very much on trying to read too much in. I think dynamic, or I think round deformation was worded very specifically that way. Dynamic weather effects, I think, was worded very specifically that way. I mean, we see flashes of lightning in the trailer. I kind of hope we have lightning, visual lightning. I hope we do have flashes of light during a storm. Dynamic weather, could we have hailstorms? Could we get crop damage? Could we get crops laying down on the ground? That's probably too much. That's probably not overly realistic. There will be plenty of time to learn more. They say 11 days, we're going to learn a lot more information at FarmCon. Don't expect any more info between now and FarmCon. I mean, it could be. Could be some form of compaction is the round deformation. But I think it has to do with the mechanic of making those rice fields. Photo mode, I mean, that's a mod we have now, right? I think that mod's too complex for me. But it's a mod we have now. It would be nice to be able to do photo mode as opposed to going here and just turning off the HUD and then zooming in, or a combination of turning off the HUD and enabling flight mode to get, where we want. To get the screenshot we want. To be like, but I would want it to be somewhat simplified. Like ATS. Yeah, ATS, where you can just grab a slider and decide what time of day you want the picture in. You click on the clouds a little bit to cycle through a bunch of different sky lighting options. I mean, that photo mode mod we got now, it's like, I'm not a professional photographer. I don't understand any of that stuff. But it's hard to know what was in the trailer as a storytelling function or what was there as a hint of what's to come. Remember in the trailer for FS22, we had the lazy daughter who lost her crop because she didn't do something, right? She either lost it to pests or to disease. Well, we didn't get pests or disease in the game. What was that scene really giving us? I don't know. Going back and thinking about it now, I don't think that scene translated to anything we actually got. We've had withering before. We had withering without seasons. If you didn't harvest your crop within, you had 2 stages of ready to harvest without seasons, and those stages were basically based on number of days. So if you went 2 days between, if it was ready to harvest for 2 days and you didn't get it harvested, your crop would wither. But let's just for funsies, for poops and smiles. The Farming Stimulator 22 trailer. Right? First time we've seen these people. Oh, he's such a young man in this video. All right, lazy daughter. Getting up at 10 a.m. You know, I thought this meant we would have like family, like we could play as a different person other than just male or female. Just chilling like a villain. Oh, he had the big Fendt tractor, right? Oh, what is this? White. We lost our crop. Right? That didn't mean anything. Ah, look, she's actually putting effort into it. Here, look, here it said wheat, right? Wheat seed. I thought we would get custom seed, but no, that was just a storytelling thing. Right? Kinsey was announced because here we had a Kinsey planter or a Kinsey seeder. There we had Mac. Mac got, ooh, we got a Mac truck. Right, we had a Wilson trailer. Grapes. Grapes got announced. This New Holland grape harvester. So just a retrospect look back on, so, right, it's winter time. So seasonal cycles. Plowing of snow. So, you know, those are the things that we saw in right here, right? We have, right? We thought we were getting GPS because clearly they're leaving lots of gaps between between their rows. No, we didn't get that, right? So be careful. Be careful what we read into our trailers. We gotta be a little careful. Oh, we even saw screenshots, right, Schultz? We saw screenshots where they were working the field and they had obviously areas that they were leaving gaps. Maybe GPS was an early feature planned for 22 that just didn't make it. Maybe we'll see it later. Maybe not. It's like even way back in FS19, def was in the vehicles. Def was a fill type that was defined in the vehicle's XML. There were hints of a gearbox in the vehicle XMLs in FS19. We didn't get it until FS22. The concept of having a manual gearbox built into the game. But there were hints of it in the vehicle XMLs for 19. We got in the fact sheets for 22 like def information. Right? We had diesel is this many hundreds of liters and def is this many liters. Well, we thought that meant that def was now a fill type, that you would have to fuel your vehicle with def and diesel. No, you just go to the fuel pump and you just pump your magical mix of diesel and def all at once at the same time. You don't have two fill types you've got to manage. There's mods for that basically leverage that fill type that's already in the game. It's just not implemented base game that way. Air. Vehicles have air that have air brakes. Air is a defined fill type with a quantity. But we don't run out of air. We don't have to wait for our harvester to air up. We don't have to wait for our quad track to get air before we can move. But it is a definable fill type in the XML. So maybe it'll be used more in whatever comes next. Exactly, Walter, exactly. That's why I say Giants is they do iterative updates, iterative development, as opposed to these massive monumental leaps. I don't know any game that has massive monumental leaps. Unless you've got a game that's 15 years in development between versions or something. It's far better than your F1 24, which is F1 23, just with new drivers and different teams and different liveries, compared to F1 22 or 21 or 20 or 19. Right? Your Madden NFL insert year Is it all that different from your Madden NFL insert year +1 or +2? You know, is your Halo whatever that much different from the next Halo that comes out? Slow, methodical updates, working things in. Forestry was added as a DLC, I think, in FS15. Forestry, what we have these days, was kind of cut its teeth in a DLC in FS15. We had the ability to cut trees and plant trees in FS17, which I think was the first time we had that capability of doing that. I came to the FS world in FS17, so anything before 17 I don't have a recollection of. I mean, I think the only way ATS keeps afloat is they have ridiculously low operating expenses. I don't know. Or they just sell that many copies of the game in DLCs. Speaking of which, the Steam Summer Sale is going to be starting on Thursday. So just 2 more days before the Steam Summer Sale. Quite possibly now with Farming Simulator 25 announced, there might be some Steam sales on Farm Sim 22 DLC. If anyone wishes to pick up the FS22 Collector's Edition, it is still available on sites like Amazon and Walmart. So it's not too late to get your own USB beacon if you wish to. Grump, it might be worth checking out. They've made a lot of changes. The new I don't know if I can call it dynamic, but the new nighttime sky is awesome. The weather, lightning storms, the sounds, the flashes of light are really, really good. It's probably definitely worth firing up and just updating, because you get a whole lot of updates just free. Nebraska's coming, Arkansas is coming, and Iowa was just announced. Look at the time, people. We've been going at this for 2 hours. And I have to say, it has not been that long. It has not felt like it's been 2 hours. So I want to thank y'all for coming out and watching tonight. If you haven't seen my breakdown of the trailer and the announcement stuff, go give that a check. I think I did a pretty darn good of breaking down everything that was announced today. We talked a fair bit about it tonight, but it's still worth going and checking that out. Please like and subscribe if you are not already so, because we will be providing you as much Farm Sim 25 information as we can. We'll be providing as much FarmCon information as possible for someone who's not able to attend. And we'll be continuing providing coverages of maps as they come out, all the way up to FS25's release, and then we'll be transitioning over to FS25. And I've got some big things coming for map videos in FS25. We're going to be calling them something different. We're going to have a different format, and we're going to have a companion format to our videos that we are putting out. So I'm excited to be working on that and talking about that as we get closer to the release. Something I need to flesh out some more and make sure I can get working the way I really want. Until next time, happy farming.